Okay, welcomes ladies and gentlemen. So today, doing something a bit different. Time to give back to the Fishing Society. So over the years, I've gone through and helped a few friends out and different individuals really. Something that I haven't done for a little while now because I was let down a little bit. But I've decided, and I said a few months ago, that I was going to do it again. So it happened very weirdly, to be honest. I was sitting on YouTube and flicking through, seeing what fishing video was about. And I come across this young lad and it reminded me myself really, fishing a lot of the venues I used to fish 25, 30 years ago really. Nest Beach, trying to think what there was, it was Hope Snows, Long Quarry, just Torbay area and stuff, and going off to Budley and Sidmouth area and stuff like that. And it's exactly what I started doing when I started out fishing. I mean, originally I started off in Plymouth, and then when I moved to Exeter, it was, they were my nearest beaches, Branscombe and places like that. And I remember how hard it was for us. I mean, we never had no guidance, a couple of young lads going out as friends, me, Scott and Shane and Lee back then. And it was a case of going out. We never had no knowledge, no experience of where to go and how to fish and where the fish were. So to me, it was a big part of looking back now of my learning curve into becoming where I am in angling today. I mean, everybody's got their own angling journey and stuff. And what I liked about it, 9 times out of 10 in YouTube videos now, there's big egos in sea fishing, and it goes for everyone really. I think we're all men and we all like to do well and stuff like that. But one thing I don't see is a lot of collaboration with different YouTube videos and stuff, YouTubers and stuff like that. And for those of you who know, the other year I've done a little bit of golf, and one thing I found with the golf is they interact with each other, different YouTube channels, and it sort of makes what you're doing more enjoyable. You're sharing, and at the end of the day, for me, fishing is promoting the sport to the next generation. It's about sharing knowledge, and it's about helping others. And I mean, like I've done in the Black Bream video last week, I mean, a lot of guys I know what know the areas and know the venues and stuff like that, they don't do very well on the Black Bream. Some of them have caught the odd 1 and 2 and stuff like that, but hopefully the hints and tips I put in the video, they learn a bit as well, because at the end of the day, when I see people catching fish, to me, it's an enjoyment. At the end of the day, I love to see others catch fish. I mean, if I'm on Facebook, I'm not a jealous person. I always like to see people catch fish, so that's what it's about. So this is what we're doing today. So we're about to meet Only Fins, okay? Only Fins. I love the name, and Connor, his name is. And as I said, we sort of got talking online through his YouTube channel and stuff like that. His auntie actually lives next door to me. Small world, isn't it? So we're going to go over with Connor now, but I'm going to do 10 episodes with Connor, okay? And I'm going to do something which I wish someone done with me back then. Sort of like showed me the ropes there, because I never had a granddad, or I never had a dad, I never had an uncle what was into fishing. So for me, it was a lot of magazine reading, video reading when you could get the videos. There was no online stuff back then at the time, and sort of like learn by error, if you know what I mean. Something's not working, what can I do to make it work? Or learning how to read the beaches when you're catching, what to note about catching and stuff like that. And it's stuff which you wouldn't physically be able to pick up on your own, it really. And it's exactly the same with casting, unless someone shows you. So we're going to go over with Connor now and go through some general information about how we started fishing and stuff. And then in this episode, we're going to cover some casting. And he's just bought a multiplier. So for someone that's never used a multiplier for long periods like fishing and stuff like that, this is a big learning curve again. I'd like to see in his video that he's gone straight reel down, and to me, I know a lot of people are saying now fixed balls are the way to go and stuff like that. I think my personal experience is false. I feel that you're always going to have more control with a multiplier and stuff. I know you use the ease and stuff like that, but to be fair, with my own fishing now, I feed the line on. Even when I seen something where I've been someone talking about online the other day, and they were on about feeding the line, that when you get a fish on it, it tends to go all over the place. It's second nature to me now, and after doing it for so many years, and I know a lot of anglers will agree with that, I don't even think about going left and right and roll it evenly on the spool, because it goes on naturally. I mean, if you're reeling the fishing, you're automatically looking at your reel sometimes as well. If you see it going over a little bit, you pull it to the right or left, and it is what it is. But I remember personally, and I'll go through it with Connor in a minute, how hard it was to get the multiplier. So we're going to go over now, but as I said, there'll be another 9 episodes after this. We're going to do some different stuff really. We're going to do another casting one, we're going to do some tackle and equipment, and we're also going to do some fishing adventures, okay? And one of which he's going to have to get blindfolded because he's not allowed to know where he's going. So that should be good. But we're going over to Connor now, and hopefully we can get a few yards put on his casting today. Okay, Connor, nice to meet you, mate.
Nice to meet you, boss.
So, how did it all start then? We'll start with the YouTube stuff, really, because you've already told me. It's quite interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it's a bit of a heavy one, bit of a deep one still. But, yeah, so I had a friend called Callum. and I used to fish with him every weekend. I mean, even midweek. You know, my wife thought I was married to him, but yeah, he sadly passed away. Things got a bit too much. I'm not going to go into it because people might not want to talk about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, we used to be on the bank every weekend. You know, we'd talk about, you know, we'd do fishing and that, and how the, you know, the women of today are doing the OnlyFans and that. You know how it is.
Oh, it is.
And so we made a joke and was like, oh, maybe we should make a YouTube channel called OnlyFins.
Yeah.
So
Good name.
obviously, what happened, and I just thought to myself, do you know what? Why not? Just go for it.
Bit of remembrance for
You know
your
what I
mate
mean?
and
Yeah.
at the same time.
And like even like me looking back on sessions and things like that, it's like when you catch a big fish and you tell someone, they're looking at you like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
And then you go, well, there you go, look, watch that video, bosh, do you know what I mean?
For me, looking back, it's like a photo album.
Yeah,
it's like a
100%.
video-sized photo album, and what I liked about your channel especially is you're showing the enjoyment of what you're doing within your fishing. You're not trying to show it everybody, because there's a lot of like arrogance and a lot of like everybody wants to be the best in fishing and stuff like that.
Well,
it's
I am the
egos.
best, you know
but
what I mean?
as a male, everybody's got it, isn't they? And I think it's like football's a bit different, and golf I thought was a totally different again the way it comes across, because a lot of golfers, I know the only thing you're trying to do is outbeat each other. You know what I mean? Yourself really. You want to beat yourself because you've got your handicaps and stuff.
Obviously, in golf though, obviously they pair up and they do teams.
Yeah,
and stuff
exactly.
Like that, you know what I mean?
So
they play
in
points and stuff.
golf, really, your only main aim is to beat yourself. Now, in fishing, the trouble is everybody wants to be good at fishing. Everything you know what I mean?
You have to beat
and then
everyone.
yeah, exactly. But it all comes across. But what I liked, I've seen a lot of individual YouTubers, especially people who have not been fishing very long, and all of a sudden they're like coming across and trying to promote and educate people and that. And you think to yourself, you've only been fishing a year. But what I liked, what you were doing, you were showing everybody you're learning, and you're showing them learning with you. And I think for me personally, for someone starting fishing for the first time, it's a good way to look at it, because you can see the benefits of what you're doing and you're thinking, hang on a minute, I got that wrong. You know what I mean? And then when you're doing right things and catching, and you're picking up in the knowledge, and that's what fishing's about.
Yeah,
because you don't just
100%.
pick a rod up and go catching fish.
No,
If you do, there's something going on, because it didn't for
If
me.
you watch my YouTube channel, you know you don't.
No, but exactly the same, mate. And I'll tell you one thing now. When I started going on to multiplier, originally I was probably 15. And
They didn't even have mags back then, did they?
no, I had an Abu. Okay, so there was a Mag Elite Abu at the time, but I had the Sports Rocket.
All right.
And basically, I paid all this money for it. It was bee's knees. Thought, yeah. Went down to the beach, bird's nest. And I was like, oh my, it's so frustrating. And do you know what? I was down Fisherman's Nose in Plymouth one day, and there was a guy next to me, and I said, I've had enough of this bird's nest again. He said, what is it? I said, an Abu. And he said, I'll swap it with you. I said, what do you got? He had a Daiwa Moonraker. It won't sound like a lot to you, but a lot of the older boys remember this. And it was an half decent rod compared to me using Shakespeare. So I said, you know what? Go for it, mate. So I got this, fixed ball straight on, where you go. And I love the fixed ball, but when I moved to Exeter and I was probably 19, I went on for the 5-5 original. And I tell you what, every time I went fishing, they used to call me Captain Krakow. Because I was trying to learn to cast, but I was trying to learn to use a multiplier. And it was so frustrating. And I remember being on Battery Point with my mate, trying to learn to cast, and as I come round, lost my footing, ended up in the sink, head first, you know what I mean?
way,
but the amount of line I was going through and that, and in the end I said, you know what? I've had enough, I've got to get a lesson. And I went over to Wales with a guy called Gareth Davis. He gave me one lesson, me and my mate Shane. Then we went down to Westwood Casting, and Ian Ford and Mike Benfield, both fantastic casters and that, give us some hints and tips. And there was another guy called Mike Bowen or Glenn Bowen or something from Wales, but they were all showing me different methods of casting. And I was like, what do I do? I mean, I was puzzled. So I come up with my own sort of like thing. And I sort of like basically done this pendulum cast, really long drop, and it worked for me. And then it was only until, gone about 5 or 6 years ago, and I met Adam, and he said, you're doing it all wrong. And I was like, what do you mean? It's going out there. And he said, yeah, but you're casting off the tip. And I said, do you mean cast? Have you seen my better lead? You know what I mean? I'm thinking, because I was hitting good enough distances. And he was like, and he explained to me the difference with what and I'll show you today what casting off the tip is. And I see a lot of anglers, and they go, especially like that. At the moment, that there is quite underfilled, isn't it? You've done that for a reason?
That's just how I bought it.
Yeah.
It's come like that.
So basically, a lot of anglers like that now will cast that, and I had a question come through the other day, and they're like, "Can you spool the reel?" You probably spool that on a field, because of the, and you get a lot of people doing that for the videos because it looks good. But if that's loaded with line, you would never spool.
That's like 350 yards.
Never spool, never. Yeah, exactly.
Like
but the thing is, the more line on the spool,
Yeah.
the more distance you'll get.
Right.
'Cause it's less coming around each time. You know what I mean? It's pulling back, but. We're going to have a little play with that again. But before we go through, so we've gone through the OnlyFins bit and that, fishing itself. So how long have you been fishing?
Honestly, I've I'm not new to fishing.
No,
I've
you've-
been
yeah,
fishing
yeah.
for about maybe 15 years.
Yeah.
But the fishing I've been doing is sort of like, I done a lot of carp fishing
Yeah.
with like my uncles and
Yeah,
stuff
yeah,
like
yeah.
that.
So seaside, really.
Is
Is it something you pick up here and there?
Yeah, like,
Have you ever took
estuary
it like
fishing.
serious? Because the way I look at you at the moment, you're starting to get an addiction.
no,
Because you're out constantly.
I'm not addicted, right? I'm just consistent. There's a difference. Do you know what I mean?
That's what you say to the missus.
Exactly. She thinks I'm really good. I buy fish from Sainsbury's and that, you know what I mean? Take them back. But now, seriously, like maybe over the last year or two, like, you know, I watched your videos, I
Yeah.
watched a few other big YouTubers
Yeah,
as
yeah,
well,
yeah.
hitting Chesil Beach, things like
Yeah.
that, hitting into these big fish.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why can't I do that? Do you know what I mean? So I'm thinking.
You can.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So I'm like, right, so I got myself some rods. I've been out there, like last year, I managed a cod of £9.
Good.
I managed a bullass to £11.
Yep.
I managed a small eye to 7.5.
Good on. I've seen the video.
I mean, and that's just my first
Yeah,
year,
first year,
right?
yeah.
And I thought, yeah,
Is it your first year taking it? Is it the first year taking it seriously then?
First year taking
it seriously, yeah?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
actually, like I joined the club at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
And I really want to try and better my angling and like my knowledge and
To compete.
yeah, basically.
Yeah.
I just wanna
So your outcome of this is
Yeah.
you want to catch better fish.
I don't want to come across like an arrogant person.
no, but
I
no,
want to be. I want to.
I wanna be.
By
I
the
wanna
end-
be.
By the end of these 10 sessions, do you know what I mean? I want to be. I want to be outcasting
okay.
you.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean? That's
So
what it is.
yeah, that's what we do. But that's good.
I mean, I'm already taller than you. So
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
fine, isn't
yeah.
it?
You got bonus. Yeah, you probably got a longer reach than me. Here we go. Just need to cast a rod now.
Mate, it's only the tip, remember?
Yeah, it's only the tip. It's only tip. But so you've got some really good fish there in the first year anyway, straight away.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
when you found in the last year, you found more of an addiction of getting out because you're constantly out at the minute, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm out every weekend,
Yeah.
sometimes weekdays.
Days and stuff like
You know what I
that.
mean?
Yeah.
If you ask any of my friends, they say where I am.
So when you're going out at the moment and you think to yourself, I'm going to go fishing tonight, why do you go to that? So like, when was the last session you done?
The last session I done was Dawlish Warren.
Was it? No,
Yeah.
you went somewhere on the rocks, didn't you, after that?
I went Torquay.
There you go.
See,
There you go.
I'll be everywhere, mate.
There you go, on the war by, innit, man?
You've been watching the channel, haven't you,
I have.
mate?
I've been studying it a little bit because I wanted to pick up some hints and tips and like stuff what I can use within this
Yeah,
for
yeah.
your own game sort
Yeah,
of thing.
no, so I headed out to Torquay just because there's a bit of deeper water there and the tides are really bad. So I thought there might be a fish or two there.
So when you say bad, what? Because they're smaller tides or bigger tides?
Smaller tides, and obviously on the beach when like Dawlish Warren and stuff like that, there's hardly any water there anyway.
Yeah.
So obviously, that's the reason why I want to use a multiplier.
So when you went to Torquay, you went there because it was smaller tides or bigger tides?
smaller tides.
You prefer it down that way for smaller tides?
I don't not prefer it down there for smaller tides.
When you're going
but
fishing at the moment, do you look into
I don't know
look into the
anything,
tides?
really.
No,
I
no.
just go.
No,
I just
yeah.
get my rods.
Yeah.
Pick somewhere.
So you
I
just
think I'm going to
pick.
stay there for 12 hours and see if I catch anything.
Yeah. So out of the areas you've picked, do you notice anything different about every time you're fishing them and when you're catching and not catching?
No. That's
Right.
sort of why I've done
So,
the videos.
there we
so
go,
I can
yeah,
look
so it's-
back,
yeah,
do you know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
And then be like, right, I fished there that time of year. They were the conditions. I didn't catch anything, so I ain't going to go back there and then go somewhere else. I caught there. And
So
then
my biggest bit of advice with
try
you
and get
straight
some
away,
information.
when you're going somewhere, what
Yeah.
I would get is a book.
Right.
A diary, right? And when you go to fishing, put in that diary, this is what I used to do years ago, and basically put your tides,
Yeah.
wind speeds, moon phase. Now, believe it or not, you're going
I
right
said
the
this
thing.
in one of my videos the other day. Someone said about moons. and I
Moon
don't know what
phase
it's about.
plays a massive part in my fishing.
Does
a
it?
massive part
Well,
in my
like
fishing.
werewolves and that.
But I say, yeah, all stuff like that,
Yeah,
especially ray fishing, I find. And it can make a difference from being full moon
Yeah.
to having no moon. But last quarter, I'll be truthful, and a lot of people might agree with me, might or not, but I find the last quarter is very good for ray fishing, especially. I've had some really good trips and I found that it does pay attention. If I know there's a moon phase like that coming up,
Yeah.
I'll look for those certain tides, and if the tides and weather and winds in my favour, that's when I'll go and hit certain areas.
Right, fair.
Yeah.
That's why I'm here. See?
Yeah.
That's what
But what I'm
missing
saying to you is when you go into these areas like that, like Hope Snows especially, I find Hope Snows for eeling fish is better on a neat tide.
Neat
A
tide,
smaller tide. I don't know why. And I find, especially on Hope Snows, if you're fishing for big eels,
Yeah.
if you're getting bombarded with smaller bites, time to pack up and go home. All the
Yeah,
better
yeah.
sessions I've had on down Hope Snows on the ealing is basically when there's no bites at all. And then all of a sudden you get a
Bang,
over
straight
and you've got a 20 pounder.
Yeah.
Or like I mean 25 pounder or whatever. And that's what I've found I've experienced Hope Snows as well. But it's exactly the same. You've got to study the venues you're at. Because like this now, we could be here now, in between here now, you've got a headland there and you've got a headland there.
Yeah,
okay?
yeah.
So the tide will come through wherever the tide comes through there. 9 times out of 10 on a bigger tide, right, that tide line will stay further out.
Right.
Do you know what that is?
Do I know why it is?
Yeah, you want to take a guess? Right, basically, because you've got 2 endpoints here now for the tide line, so it's a lot. This is a good thing and hint and tip for a lot of you to pick up at the end of the day. So when the tide's coming around this headland here, right, basically the stronger the tide is, the tide's not going to have chance to move back into this bay, okay? So what it will do, it will come off that point and that point, right, and it will basically come further out.
Right.
So on a smaller tide, when there's less power going around these 2 points,
It'll come further
come further in.
Right.
Right, and that plays a difference on a lot of venues.
See, there's that 1-0.
Yeah, exactly. So you look at like the top end of the Bristol Channel. Anyone what knows how to fish the top end of the Bristol Channel, you won't see these guys going up there, or even the local guys hitting on massive springs.
Yeah.
Because the pool up there is just stupid. So what there's a balance. There'll be a perfect tide, which a lot of anglers will like. And a lot of other things. So normally, like you want to build in, I prefer to build in to mid tides, but you don't want it too big. Right. And then you'll get enough pool in that as well at the same time, but not overkill as well. I'm not saying you won't catch fish on that, but sometimes it's too much.
Right. Yeah, I know what you mean.
So have you fished the Bristol Channel a lot yet?
I fished there twice.
Have you?
I fished Minehead, White Mark.
White Mark?
I lost like 4 leads, and then a geezer told me you need to go more left. So I was like, all right. So I went more left, and I was all right. There's like a sand spit that comes down. So I fished 2 hours down, 2 hours back up, and then obviously because my casting's not great, I didn't stay there much longer because I kept packing the rocks.
The further you go in towards a cliff,
then
there's like a bay what comes in like that, so that you don't have to hit so far on the boulders.
But
what would be your favourite mark, without giving any secret marks away, or just what would be your favourite mark? If you want to go and catch some fish tonight, I'm going where?
If someone said to me, where do you want to go tonight fishing, I would probably just go to West Bexington.
Yeah? So you like Chesil, big fan?
I'm a big fan of Chesil.
Yeah?
I love Chesil.
You've had your best fish there?
I've had my best blanks there too.
Have you? Chesil can make or break you, can it?
Yeah, especially when it's -3 in the morning.
Yeah?
3 o'clock, -3, do you know what I mean? And then you just, bosh, rods over.
Cod on.
Cod on.
Cod on, nice cod as well.
Cod on, mate, cod on.
Yeah? Dinner for a long time, that, wouldn't it? Well, edit in 2 days. Hey, look at that.
Breakfast,
lunch, after my own hour.
Straight back out for another one.
You know what I mean? Right, so we've done some little bits there already, so hopefully you've learned a little bit from what I'm saying. So the main thing, what I would suggest, anytime you go fishing that, to store the information. If you're having blank sessions, there's a reason why. And it might be the fact that just because we're here today, I don't never fish down here. You ever fish down here?
I've never fished here.
Right, so it looks like it's like broken the mixed ground. I bet there's fish there. I bet if you're hitting a distance of that, I would say off all sand at distance, you probably pick up plaice, you probably pick up congers, you probably get bullers. I wouldn't say you get massive fish here, but you probably get massive plaice here with all the rougher ground and that. Plaice like Cleanies are rougher ground, don't they? Maybe. But if you were coming down here for the first time and it was a spring tide, you never got no fish, I would say to do exactly the same, but hit it on a different tide next time.
Yeah,
and then wind condition, because this could fish on rougher conditions. You know what I mean? It could be like big raging easterlies or southwesterly, where it starts like going out through. And there's a lot of venues like that. B-Sands, for example. Look at an easterly, pushes it fish inshore, and it also roughens up the conditions. You know what I mean? And especially on the easterly winds, after an easterly blow down there, you can go down and bag up down there. You know what I mean? And it's probably the best wind to fish.
Catching that time in between
it's,
when you're not at work.
Yeah, exactly. But there's a lot of guys who look specifically and you think, do you know what, it's the right time of year now. It looks right weather. It looks right everything else. Friday night, if that wind turns in my favour, I'm going to go and hit it. And it's turned up, you know what I mean?
See, and I think that's the difference between like obviously yourself and like anglers that have done it for years. Whereas I haven't got that knowledge yet, so I'm like, well, the wind's not hitting me there, so I'll just go there.
If I went to a venue, so like a venue down Salcombe, for example, what I would go to rating, if I got down there and the water was like that, I'd go out straight away.
Because
I've got a 45-minute walk, and I'm going to got all this bait, and what am I going to do? Just waste it? Because the conditions wouldn't be right. I'm not saying I wouldn't have a chance catching a fish, because you've always got a chance, but I want it coloured.
Right,
like the Bristol Channel coloured. And I find that when the water is like that in some places, it's weird, isn't it?
See, you say that, right? But that's like yourself. Like Chesil, I love it when it's dark, when it's black and it's rough, and you can see the line out there, and you're just casting just inside it. Do you know the fish are coming in and out? You speak to other people like at Crystal, and I'm like, so which way do you go? Do you go with what you favour or what they favour?
My personal thing would be listen to yourself.
Yeah,
If you're sat there and sitting there having a conversation with someone who's been fishing for 40 years and he's giving you advice and saying it fishes better, and you've been to it venue 2 or 3 times and you think that, my advice would be to listen to the guy who has 40 years, isn't it? But if you're doing it exactly the same as someone who's been there half a dozen times you have, and you've had results and he hasn't, you may know better. If you're writing this information down and it's working, it's got to be right, isn't it? If you're catching fish in those tides
100%.
and that water condition, like place for example, if it was coloured, you wouldn't want to go place fishing there. But if he's a place angler, he wants it clear, doesn't he?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Right.
it makes a lot of sense.
Me and him, they could be talking forever here.
We're going to be wrestling on the beach in a minute if we don't
Right,
start
so
answering
here we
me.
go like that. So, right, we'll get started then. So before we go into that, we're going to go into rods. So do you want to pick your rod up? What rod have you got?
I have here the Sonic Black SKS.
So how long have you had
Sport.
that? Very light.
Very light, isn't it?
Very light.
Very light.
Pokey? Oh, so yeah, it's got some flex in it, yeah.
I've had that for about a year and a half, 2 years.
Have you?
Yeah, I bought a pair. I used to have the one before this, the SKS Black, so I only used to fish with one rod.
Right guys, so I've never cast this rod before, okay? This is a 14 foot, 5 to 7 ounce SKS Sonic Black. And what they retail at?
I think it's about £135 or something like that.
Okay, 135 quid.
Nothing mega.
Cheap as chips. No, it's cheap as chips, isn't it? For a rod, and it's going to get you fishing. It feels like it's got a bit of backbone in it, which is the main thing. What I want to do, because you're used to fishing with this, right? I want you to have a little play with the rod first before we go any further. But in a minute, I've also got 2 Zolkron rods here for you to try today.
All right.
Right, and what I want to do is to show the viewers, not just yourself, because you've been fishing a little time, you're used to the time, but a lot of guys I see fishing all the time, when they cast, even if they've been fishing a while, they look really stiff when they're casting.
Yeah.
And then when they're casting, you can see it's just the top, they're doing whatever cast they're doing. And they go like that. And a lot of the time, you need to pick your beach caster to suit your individual casting needs, basically. So if you've not cast very, it's pointless you going out and buying a 435 Zolkron, which is stiff. Because you're not going to do, at the end of the day, it's going to be, you know what I mean? You're not going to get enough now. This bends when you cast, that's going to put distance on it straight away, because the rod's actually doing the job of, as you come over, loading itself and casting. So I feel that that's a brilliant rod for someone to start with it. I can see it straight away. It's got bend in it. It's, you know what I mean? What's the tip like on it?
I'm confused. Go on.
No,
not very good.
Is it like a light tip, or is it stiff?
It's a light tip.
Is it?
Yeah, I mean, like bite indication and everything's very, very
light.
sensitive.
Is it?
Yeah.
But you've been going eeling on rough ground and stuff like that.
I've had cod on it. I've had bullass into double figures. You know, I've hooked congers down on the Tamar and got them to the surface, but we couldn't pull them up over the
top.
Over the wall. Nah.
No.
Do you know what I mean? And it pulled them in straight away.
I do.
Fine.
All right, I'm going to go down the beach and have a little play with this one. Okay, guys. So the first thing I'm going to do now is basically get Connor to set his rod up and not put no lead on or nothing. And the reason I'm going to do this, if I'm honest, is like I said a minute ago, is a lot of anglers I see look very uncomfortable with the rod before they even start fishing, okay? And I feel like at the end of the day, that's your tool, that's your tool of the trade. I mean, if you're using tools and you're a builder, for example, a chippy's going to use a hammer, it's going to use a saw, bricklayer's going to use a trowel, plasterer's going to use a hawk and trowel, and it's exactly the same. This is your tool, this is your tool, this is your trade, okay? That's the way to look at it. And it's exactly the same if you see Luke Skywalker using his lightsaber fighting Darth Vader or whatever. You don't see him all like real stiff and stuff like that, do you? You see him like moving about and everything running smoothly and in flow. And I've seen it a lot, even with guys who have been fishing a long time. They stand there like that and they go like that, and it looks like they're really stiff and they've got like wooden spoons in places and stuff like that, where you don't have to be like that. The whole point of having this rod is let the rod do the thing. So basically, the first thing I would start with is your arms, okay? Your arm placement is a pivot, okay? So when you're casting, this is the arm what's doing it all.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the thing. That's
keep
just
that one
basically
straight,
a pivot. And the reason that's going in position. So is that where you have your rods normally?
Yeah.
Set up like that? So what I normally do, first off, when I'm using a multiplier, is I'll put the reel in my pit of my arm, like so. And that would be my grip.
Okay.
Okay, so when I'm going in like that and coming around, everything's there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can bend that arm. Now I'm not going to go through like pendulum casts and stuff like that, because what I feel is it will put you backwards instead of forwards.
Yeah.
I want you to
Get some groundwork in.
my whole thing with it today is I want you to cast a couple of times. We're going to put a bit of paper in or something, and then I want to make sure that you're beating that. Okay.
Yeah.
And when we go in, it's something easy. You can just go, oh yeah, I've got to put my lead there, whack, and you're going to be happy with fishing.
Right, yeah.
Okay.
Ideal.
What lead do you normally use on that rod?
5,
Why is the reason you like a 5?
because it feels comfortable.
Is when you're using a 6 ounce on it, it feels a bit more heavier.
Bit heavy.
You saw 5, you get more distance with a 5.
Yeah, because I can feel a bit more like I
Brilliant.
can push it and not worry about it like dumping
Going
straight
down.
in front of me.
Game on. Right, we'll get Connor set up, and we'll get into a few casts. Okay then, guys. So Connor's all set up now, and he wants to use a 5 ounce first. We're gonna let him put a 5 ounce on. I bought a 5, I bought a 6, and I bought a 7. What I'm going to do is to stand out the way a minute. I'm going to let him have a few casts, get the gist of like that. Maybe have 3 casts, okay?
Yeah.
For this one here. Or 2 casts with a 5 ounce, then we'll put a different lead on. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a bit of twig or a bit of paper or something in your reel.
Yeah.
And that will be what we've got to try and beat today.
Right.
So when I say that, I'll just put a little bit underline.
Yeah,
when
yeah,
you push mark it. And then when you see that leaf coming out, we can try and get you progressed.
Yeah. And then at the end, I'll go against you. If
we'll
I win,
cast.
you buy me an ice cream.
Yeah, if I win, you buy me an ice cream. There we go, ice
It
creams
what
it is
is.
then.
Ice creams on the page.
Okay, so Connor's first cast. Okay, so that went
20 yards.
about 25, 30 yards. Can I give you a tip quickly?
Go on.
I'll let you get the rod in first. So automatically I can see straight away when Connor's casting, he's not looking up, he's looking down. So as he's coming around, he's like that, okay? So what happens is his tips end in there. So the lead's just basically going bang like that straight away. You got the mags fully on that, haven't you?
Yeah.
That's not going to help straight away though, okay? So one thing I'm just going to give you a little pointer before you go on to doing when you cast, right? Your foot placement, you've got it to the side. For any reason, you feel comfortable like that?
Whatever they like.
So when you've got your foot placement to the side like that,
Yeah.
you're basically, what you're doing is you're coming around like that. All right, so as you're coming around, you're sort of like half casting, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if you bring yourself in here like that, so
Yeah.
imagine a clock. You've got 12 o'clock,
Yeah.
3 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 9 o'clock, okay?
Yeah.
So all I want you to do is put your left foot there in 12 o'clock.
Right.
And your foot in the other one in 3 o'clock. So they're like the ticks, basically. You've got
Yeah.
like a corner of a square. And then I want you to get comfortable so you can bend down. You know what I mean? So everything's comfortable. And then basically, what I want you to do is what you've done there then is to do exactly the same thing, right? But I want you to bring that lead and just put that lead on the floor there like that.
Right.
All right, if you're off the beach. Then what I want you to do is turn, make sure the tension's there, right? So the tension comes back like that. And I want you to cast, but I want you to look up like that. So you know in the war when they had the big cannons and stuff,
No, but I'm not that old.
you've seen this stuff, yeah? So when you had the cannons, right, they used to have them at that right angle. So it's maximum distance,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So to aim in for when the ships and stuff are coming through. So the thing is, when you're casting there like that, because you're going like that, you're basically aiming, when you stop there then, the lead's just going straight down.
Straight down. Right.
Even if you just look up and do that same cast, even with those mags totally on, you'll put distance on straight away because it will go up and then down.
Right. Well, let's take it away then, shall we?
Let's do it again. That's it. Drop the tip a bit
Oh,
more.
that's horrible.
That's it. Now look up. Look at that. And I tell you what.
Home time, isn't it?
Huh?
Home time, isn't it?
That there, it didn't go super far, but that there put on, I reckon he put on 15 yards on his cast. Now, he's got the mags on full at the minute, guys, which is it's not brilliant, but at the same time, the main thing about it, you need to be learning what he's doing with the multiplier, but at the same time, he needs to carry on enjoying his fishing. And the last thing he wants to be doing is playing around with that Magnum at the minute and just getting birds every time, because more than likely, he's going to chuck it back into the bin and then pick up his fixed spool again, and we don't want that. So, how are you getting on with the line? It seems to be going on really nice.
I think it's all right. I've been on a boat and had the lay line on before, so I've sort of done quite a lot of that before.
Right, so you put distance on straight away then. We're going to do it again, right? So what I'm going to do this time,
Can I try it with the lead out the sideways?
you can do it on the legs out sideways. That's one of the next step I was going to go through.
Is that what? Because obviously when it's underneath,
Yeah.
feels like I've got
The
to
reason I
hold the
didn't
rod.
do that straight away is because you were used to doing an overhead thump.
Yeah, yeah.
And when you're doing this now,
Gonna
you need to come round the side.
right.
That's my next thing with you, because you're going like that at the moment, you stand the square and going straight over like that. By putting the lead back, you're creating more bend and arc in the rod, right?
Right.
When you're doing it here now, you can't go straight over your head. So what you want to do is you want to come around. That's how you should be casting. You should be casting as you're coming here like that, and
Yeah.
then coming around, okay?
So not like chopping it.
So you're not chopping it, no. I'll move the camera back a little bit.
I'm gonna
for this one.
chop it now, aren't I?
Right, so we have got at the moment, so see where this lead is here now?
Yeah.
I'm going to show you something different in a minute. So if I pull here, like that,
Yeah.
what can you feel? Like a
Tip.
bite,
Yeah.
right? If I come and stand back here and I pull here, feel the difference?
Yeah.
I can literally pull you, I can take you up the bank with me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's what you call outside the tip.
Right.
So if you're casting in here, you're casting off the tip.
So yeah, probably
If you're
snap, wouldn't
casting, no,
Oh right.
because of the outside, that's where you're bending this part of the rod.
Right.
That's
right.
how you're casting. The technology and the physics behind it, once you get that around that, how you're bending the rod,
Yeah.
you've nailed it. All of it is putting everything into practice.
Right.
And it's not as easy as it looks.
No.
And it's not. And I still
Yeah.
have it, and I still got it now. I'll go through times I think I'm doing that wrong, you know what I mean? Then I'll have to come back down to the beach or the field or wherever I'm doing, and I'll do like 10 casts, and then I'll get it again.
Yeah,
and it'll
yeah.
be simple things like the scoop or my timing.
Yeah, yeah. Right.
You know what I mean? I'm going to put it here for where you want it. You put it where you want it.
Right then. I just have to make sure it's off now. Yeah. Right. Feet.
Okay.
I think the reel's holding back quite a lot.
Reel's holding back a hell of a lot. But what I like about it, your lead's a lot further in the air.
Yeah. You can feel
You
the
can see it
difference straight away.
Yeah.
You know when you hit it, because like sometimes when you hit it over your head and it dumps forwards, even when you do hit it good straight over your head,
Yeah.
it still doesn't feel right.
No. Now, I haven't cast that rod, but I'm going to put a 6 ounce on now for you.
Yeah. Can't need a drill for this. I'm only casting 650 yards.
When you first started out, it can be very frustrating. This, give us that tip on there. It's something I wish I had someone to show me like years before, because it really is. There you go. Have a go with that. It really is something which, just by being able to cast from 30 yards to 50 yards, sometimes just puts you in that slightly deeper water. And it's exactly the same. And a lot of people say to me, it's not always about distance, Andy, it isn't. But what I've found is, with having the experience and the skills to be able to hit a lead where you want to hit a lead, and that extra distance sometimes pays off with a fish or not, especially in places with lots of tide. If you've got a tide line out there, 9 times out of 10, if you can get it in that tide, you're in with a chance of pulling the fish out. Right, exactly the same, 6 ounce lead. Go. Like it. Like it.
I chopped that a
You
bit.
did chop it again. We'll have a go now. But the trouble is, you're used to the 5 ounce leg and you're hitting a 6 ounce lead.
Yeah, yeah.
You're doing it differently. I'll give you another advice. Slow the cast down slightly now.
Right.
As you're coming around, slow it down. As you get to the end, then add power. Lovely evening for it.
God, I might have to have a quick fluid break in a minute. Yeah, there's loads of room on here for line, isn't there?
Yeah.
So with the knot,
Do you,
do you know the leader knot?
yeah.
Do you always put that to one side?
Side. Always put it to one side.
Right.
I like to have mine on the left-hand side.
So even if it like you reeling in and it comes in the middle, like let it out and then...
Yeah, all the time. Because what you find sometimes, I don't like them unless I'm casting.
Yeah.
A lot of people use fummies,
Right.
right? Well, I don't, because I've got builder's hands. Like, you know what I mean,
Leather.
yeah, it don't really bother me like that. I don't have a problem with it when I'm fishing, but if I'm casting, and it's casting especially, you'll like tear your thumb to pieces.
Right.
But at the end of the day, if 9 times out of 10, unless I'm on a mark in my own in the middle of nowhere, and I
Yeah.
think to myself, I really want to wind one up, I'm not giving it 100% tournament cast. There's a different cast between a tournament cast and a fishing cast.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? Especially with bait and stuff like that on again. But the main thing is that for you especially to have that to the side. If you feel that you're getting thumb slips and stuff, then
Yeah.
I would recommend maybe getting a little glove thing or something. The
Right.
trouble is, I find personally, especially with fishing and stuff, if I'm using a thumbie, I'll get black stuff on my line,
Yeah, yeah.
and I don't like that when I'm
Stress
fishing.
you out.
Yeah, it really, yeah.
Anxiety and that.
I
I know
I'll
what
tell you
you're
what, OCD terrible when it comes to fishing.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
my rigs, all my lines, everything. I mean, if I've got like a little nick in my line, I feel like that, it'll play on me and I have to change my line. Because the way I look at it, and it's the main thing again, exactly the same. Let that go a minute. This is one thing what you tell straight away is knots. Now, what knot are you using there?
I'm not going to tell you because it was already on there when I bought it.
Right?
But I do use your knot.
So, this is one thing I noticed, and it was the rigs I noticed when I was watching the channel, right? And it was the other thing was, the first thing I noticed, and there's one thing I said today I was going to do, like, I literally hit that, and I just went like that. Yeah?
Yeah, I didn't tie that, to be fair.
No.
No, I use
Right,
your knot.
I'm gonna let him off this one. But I can't believe
bought
I used that time.
You watched my video, that's how it come out of the box when I bought it.
Right, so you've been fishing with that though.
Yeah, yeah.
Right, so you imagine
I know how to fish on it.
imagine going down to Seatown and hitting to a 10-pound small line
I would've
and going to
cried.
bend like that, and all of a sudden it's snapped.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? It's a valuable lesson learned there, right? It's knots, right? I'm going to tie you a knot on there now, right? So basically, what knot do you use?
The one you use.
Spider hitch?
Yeah.
Right.
I learned it on your channel. Believe it or not.
So,
I am a fan.
roll over there like
Just
that.
pretending
One.
I'm not, yeah.
How many fins? Hey! Right, one, two. Fucking hell. Is that, what, is that sport?
Very vast
Sport, yeah. 1, 2, 3. Something like that. Nice.
Lube her up.
Deep breath.
Yeah.
There we go. Got some scissors? I've got some scissors. Right, so I've just done a little spider at shock needle knot. I'm gonna have to go with that thing.
I'll put that down.
Yeah, if he puts that down quickly and grab some scissors, I'll get him loaded again. So this has got a tapered leader on it, I believe. It is a tapered leader.
How the fuck am I meant to know where scissors are?
There's a favour. You got scissors?
Yeah.
That's a tapered leader, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right, I'm gonna do. It's got a tapered leader on.
I didn't put it on. I'm taking this.
not
I'm
letting him
taking
off.
this to the grave with me. All right.
I'm not letting him off.
I'm still learning, right?
Two.
You forgot your imps the other day, didn't you?
I did. I did. I did. We're gonna have some fun. I like his sense of humour. Right. So, fueled that a minute.
Oh, did you not? Did it not work?
That is the
Too thin.
too thin. I don't know if this is going to be alright either.
I think that. Yeah. Is that why? It
I'm not a
snapped?
fan of this stuff, guys. If I'm honest, I'm really not. The tapered shock leaders. I mean, if you're doing whatever you're doing, like bass fishing and stuff like that, but I don't believe that it does anything, if I'm totally honest with you. If anybody's that worried about using a tapered lead as much, my advice would be just to learn to cast properly, because it really doesn't. I mean, my knot's 10 times the size of that normally, and they're very, very strong.
This is where if I crack off now, it's your fault, isn't it?
Yeah. I'm not taking responsibility because that, I don't know.
Right, let's see what we've got here, shall we?
Yeah, it's strong enough to cast with. All right, so we're going to go for the next cast then.
Shall I try the one where I swing it round? No, I'm only joking. We're getting there. I mean, we're not bending it and sending it yet, but you know, we'll get there in the end.
Something like this.
Yeah, I'll go.
Yeah. So what I'm going to do,
You show me. Or is that, are you taking some mags off there?
yeah, I'm going to take a couple of mags off, right, just to show. So I like the way you're hitting it, because you're hitting it smoothly, and I feel that you're hitting it well enough to let that mag off a little bit, right? But what I'm probably going to do, actually, I'm not going to do it. That's on, isn't it? All the way around that way?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right, come and do that again now. I've took it off free, okay?
I was going to try.
No, because I'm going to show you, what I want to do is I'm going to show you a cast in a minute, because where we're going to go, when we're going fishing,
Yeah.
9 times out of 10, you're not going to be able to put a lead down on the floor like that. There's going to be a lot of rock marks and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So what I want to try and do with you today is just get you an extra distance, but a nice easy cast just to pick up. So you've got two choices. You've got a layback cast, and you've got a cast, what I used to do. And the what cast I used to do, it'll put distance on you,
Yeah,
but the
yeah.
layback cast will put you ultimate distance on. But the layback cast is a lot harder to do than the ever, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I want you to enjoy the experience, but obviously put a few yards on. It's a 6 ounce lead. Connor throwing into the thing again. Look up though this time. Yeah, good. Good,
I don't know what it is.
good.
I think, at least it's going straight.
You carry on bringing that in a minute, mate. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get a rod set up. So how'd you find that?
I mean, it's definitely more comfortable, and it's going straight.
Good.
I mean, it's not, before when I was pulling it straight over the top, it was like going right.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely going
Is
a
that
lot
similar
straighter.
distance that you normally hit in?
Yeah, that's sort of like, if I get a good cast, that's sort of like the distance.
Right.
So not mega.
So
It's quite frustrating because with the fixed ball, when I swing it with a fixed ball and I can bend the rod, because it bends better that way,
Yeah.
I can get it a lot further.
Right. So we got something to practice with. So 9 times out of 10, as I just said, most of the venues on the beaches like Chesil and stuff, you're going to get away with that cast. So it's a nice easy one to have in your background. So, you know, just put the lead down, overhead thump, nice and easy.
Yeah, yeah.
And away you go, okay? I'll tell you what I'll do. You chuck us that one here a minute. I'll chuck that lead on there. And I'll chuck that lead down there like that, all right? So you've got your 5 ounce there a minute. So what I'm going to do now is a cast that I used to use when I first started fishing. And I used it for years, I've got to be honest, and I mean years. And it's very easy to do. It's like a half, it's basically like an overhead thump really, but except from I let the lead drop back in before I hit it. Very easy to do and very easy to pick up. So if you come this side of me a minute, I'm going to keep the mags on here now. Just put them off slightly, right? So basically what I'm doing is you can see my positions on my leg, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So basically all I'm doing, I'm bringing the rod in like that and the rod down, right? When it goes down, I'm dropping that like that there. I'm not going to let that go over on it, by the way. All I'm doing is letting it go there. As it goes, I'm dropping that tip. The reason I'm dropping that tip is that's going to basically load the rod as it comes forward. So this is what I used to do with my HSTs years ago. So I basically drop back like that, drop down like that. As it drops down like that. Right, that there is probably 80 yards. maybe. When a big cast, mags are totally on then, you can hear it all the time, right? But what you can see by what I've just done then, very little effort. And it's a cast I used to use for white mark, when I used to fish at white mark years ago. But you see what I've done? Yeah, you got to drop the tip. It's very easy to do, but drop the tip.
I might have to. You might have to show me one more time.
I'll show you more time. I'll show you one more time. It is an easy one,
sort of
guys.
happens quite quick.
Yeah. It's like a half. You just basically let it come back under the tip, drop your tip, and then hit it. As long as you let that tip drop,
Yeah.
when that comes back, and keep that line tension, as you go over it, you'll bend the rod, you'll compress the rod. Before we go, I'll do a pendulum cast,
Yeah.
and then you that's what you'll learn by the end of it.
Ideal. I mean, if I could get it just that distance, I'd be happy.
Yeah, that's 9 times out of 10. That's all you need to be.
Yeah.
Like on Chesil, you need a little bit of tide. You can see it there now. There's like a tide line where it's flattened off. That's where you want your leads. So exactly the same again. What we're going to do. So I've got the drop down to my eye, basically. So bottom eye, really. So the shorter drop you got, the easier it is really to do. So all I'm going to do is drop it down, drop it back, drop the tip down. You know what I mean?
Is it not going to crack off?
It won't crack off.
Is it not?
No. I was trying to do that and stop the cast then.
Yeah, I know.
Just so I could think, but it's harder than I thought. We've got a slope in the background, so I'll hit this one then. All right, so out, in. Right, that's mags, don't forget, totally on. That's mags, you can hear it pulling back.
Yeah.
That cast there,
I suppose it's just confidence, right?
That cast there, with doing it just like that, you're a big boy as well. If you pick that technique up, you hit that 120 yards with bait on easy.
Well, I just want to...
Go on, you stand in front of the camera so the camera can see you. You got that?
Coming back. I'm just gonna see how to do that thing first.
Out, in, drop your tip. Nope. You're pendulum casting then.
Listen, what? Oh, so if I keep my rod here...
Yeah, and then just drop the tip as it come back.
Backwards,
forwards,
this way.
drop the tip. No, that's too much. That's nearly a pendulum, nearly.
I don't understand. So it's going out, in.
No. 2 seconds, let me get this in a minute. What you're trying to do is bring that lead towards your hand, and then drop in that tip as it's coming back forward.
Oh, wait now, I think I know what you mean. So basically, go there, to my hand.
Drop yeah, perfect.
Right, I got it. So it looked like when you hit it, right, when you watch the video, it looks like you send the lead back. And that's what I was trying to copy. And that's why I couldn't get my head around it. I know what you mean. Pull the lead in, drop the tip, hit it out.
Yeah, so if I'd done a mini version of it, you're going out, dropping it like that, and then like that, and then hitting it.
So basically, like you're just about to drop it on the floor, but then hit it.
Come forward a little bit.
Before it goes. We'll see what happens, shall we?
Well, then there you go.
Have I got it off? Yeah. Right.
Drop tip. Yeah, better. Got better distance of it.
I tried to swing it, didn't I?
Yeah.
I didn't go straight.
Let's try the laid back again. This is what you want to learn, really, is the laid back cast, because once you get the laid back cast, it is just a case of you're there. I mean, I pendulum cast because I prefer to pendulum cast everywhere, but some places you can't pendulum cast because you've got quite tight, and the laid back cast can be just as effective.
I have seen a video of Ryan Slack.
Adam Slack?
Oh, it's Adam Slack doing it.
Right, so with the Adam's perfectionist there.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I see it just goes up, goes whoosh, no effort, and it's just gone.
No, exactly. And I've got to give him his due. Most of the places he'll fish, even if he's on Chesil now, he don't pendulum cast. He'll just layback cast. He gets it just as far. Right, so what we're going to do here is this, right? So this is it. This is it. You want a bit more of a drop for this. You might want to stand that side of the camera quickly. I'm not going to hit it. Right, so you want to pick your drop.
Yeah.
Normally the drop you have is down by that first eye, right?
Yeah.
So basically what you're going to do, the whole point of this is arm positioning as well. You need to come out and around, right? So basically what you're going to do is you're going to drop it out like that. You're going to drop it out like that. You're going to drop it out like that. As it gets down like that, right, that there's half mag. I could go probably an extra 2 turns. That there will be out past that yellow.
Wow.
With a proper hit.
See, that's
Yeah.
awesome. Full send, that one.
What's that?
Full send.
I'll full send it later. But did you see what I've done?
Yeah, you sort of like
You
push
see, you're
it
pushing
out.
it out that way, pushing it out that way.
Push it
As
out
that
that
lead
way.
gets to the top to peak, then you're turning. So as it's dropping in, you'll release
so
it forward.
literally, when it goes up, when it's at the top, as it gets to the top, you turn around
Yeah.
and just send
Let me
it.
get this one in quickly, and then we'll get you going.
I reckon I could put, with a bit of practice, that second one that you showed me, without me pulling it round, if I go over the top, I feel like I
What
could
one
get
do you
it.
find? Have a go at this one, and then you'll pick what one you want to pick up.
Yeah, yeah.
Because the main thing of this for me personally, I want you to be comfortable.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? And I don't want you to be there cracking off and not enjoying it.
Well, we'll see. I might owe you £2.50 for this lead at the minute.
Right, come and get in shot a minute then.
I'm coming.
You in there? Yeah, he's in there, aren't you?
I'm back. But the one I seen on YouTube the other day and did in my video, I would try that one too. 'Cause that one's really comfortable.
Right. So, here we go. So yeah. So let's get you.
So bigger drop like there,
Yeah, that'll do. It's easier with a longer drop.
right?
Yeah. So what? Yeah, go on then. So what you're doing. So what you're trying to do is this. You're trying to get the rod. You're trying to get it to go out like that,
Out,
like that, right? And then as it goes down like that, that's when you turn and hit.
right.
As that comes up to the peak, and then it comes
So
to go like that. So it's basically out like that.
Up.
Then you can feel it. You can feel the lead.
So how comes? I just out of question. So how comes when you go up and then it comes out and you wait for it to go slack line and then you hit it?
Because you need to have that tensions of the line, so it's basically going like that,
Right.
and then as it goes to go like that, so as you're coming around, you're picking the lead up.
Right. It's because that's why it's so hard to watch on the videos, because it looks like you wait for it to hold the lead back,
Yeah.
and then you pull into the
Pull a
lead.
bit into it, yeah.
But you're not. You're pulling into the air basically.
You pull it into it, yeah. As it comes up like that, as it gets to that point, so it goes like that. That's when it's just about to drop, isn't it? And then you're picking
Yeah.
it up basically. So the speed you're picking up, the speed of the lead going down, which is creating
and then
the
turning
tension.
it back on itself.
As I said, for me, I prefer the pendulum cast because I get on with the pendulum, the noise he gets. But yeah, personally, where we're fishing at Oddicombe, there's a railway thing what goes up and down, and it's the guys basically saying last orders, I think. But I prefer, I do the laid back cast in certain areas and stuff, but me personally, I prefer the pendulum cast. But as you find now, it's down to timing.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's either going to go really good or really bad, isn't it?
Exactly. That's the way to look at it.
There's only one way to go,
What I'll
boy.
do, I'm going to let you just cast it, but if you get, I want you to get the swing right first.
Right. So basically,
I like that.
and
That's
then hit
it.
Yeah.
But what I see you doing at the moment is you're quite stiff, right?
Yeah.
What I want you to do is get like that, right? Get like, I don't know. Looks like you're really stiff. Like, see how comfortable I'm looking with my hands.
Yeah.
It's not all like I'm like thing. I'm just like I'm basically like you can do it with your hand like that, so it goes out like that, and as it turns, then you're going in.
Yeah. I think it's just
Have a go.
confidence,
Yeah.
right?
Don't
I
forget.
think it's because I've had so many crack-offs.
Yeah,
I'm like
this could be a
scared.
crack off. You're not doing it right unless you're cracking off, yeah. You've got to have a few crack offs to make
Hey, keep it clean
yeah.
on my channel, thank you very much.
No.
Hit it well too early,
Yeah.
didn't I?
Yeah.
Oh, behave, I'm just going to send it now. Get some of them
You
band nuts.
remember that. The trouble is at the moment it's hard because you're thinking about backswings and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe the main focus is at the moment is to just to look up.
Look up. Right.
You know, that's the main thing, because it's the trouble is that's why I said to you today about doing loads of different things. Because in theory, pendulum cast you want to learn, don't you? It's like the same as everyone.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
the trouble is, what I don't want you to do is to go the pendulum cast and be concentrating on that, and then snapping off and cracking off when we're fishing. Because
Yeah,
at the end
yeah.
of the day, the cast you're doing at the venues will catch you fish.
Yeah.
As long as your bait's going in the water, it don't matter if it's in the water there or there. If it's most of the time, the guys I've took what can't cast, right? They're into more spotties because
Yeah,
the
yeah.
spotties are right into that clover of ground. You know what I mean?
Well, let's go then. All or nothing, I suppose.
Here we go.
All or
Full send
nothing.
ahead. Let it come up. No, too early. Not picking that lead up then.
Nah, I think I might have to count it or something.
Huh?
I might have to count it when I get to the top before I turn.
The way to look at it is like as you go like that, do it a couple of times if you got to. Just get the lead swinging. As your lead comes out like that, then it come around. Or you could go right into full pendulum. This is probably not a good idea.
I'm going to try this thing that I showed the other day. See
Who
if
showed
it
you?
works. I just watched it on TV, but it looks good on camera.
What, as you come around like that twice?
Yeah.
Right, here we go. This is an Only Fins cast. Only Fins,
Only Fins
Only
special.
Fins casting special, here we go.
Only Fins casting special.
Right.
I'm gonna mess it up now, aren't I?
Right, 2 secs. I'm going to move the camera back just so it can pick up what you're going to do. I don't know if this camera's safe here, but we'll have a go. Right, so he's going to show me a type of cast now.
Oh, I picked that wrong.
So what you're basically doing there is, where did you see it? Because it's a lot like Adam does now, but he doesn't go around like that and like that. I didn't really want you to do this today, but with like the pendulum cast,
Yeah.
right? So if I get this all set up a minute, right? What I can do is this. So I can basically, with it locked in like that, I can send my lead out like that, right? And then I can basically do this. See that?
Yeah.
What that's doing is basically what you're doing there, right? The trouble is with doing it like that, the more times you go around, that faster the arc. Your timing has got to be
Bang on.
bang on. And I mean down to the split of a second. Because if it's not, that lead's gone round the past of the time. Now, with Adam's new cast, he does similar to that, it goes round twice. I couldn't do it. I'll be truthful now, I couldn't do it. Because it's the timing is the key, you know what I mean? And exactly the same with the pendulum cast, because I'm not like tournament casting and I'm just fishing casting, I still do it now. You get into like bad habits because you're fishing all the time. It doesn't matter. You're not on it's about getting the bait in the water, isn't it? So I don't really want you to go down that hole at the minute.
Yeah, that's right.
Because the trouble is that cast there went over that way.
Yeah, yeah. That's what I was saying earlier.
Every single cast you've done today has been straight and direct.
Yeah, yeah.
If you've got 2 rods, you want to know, right, one bait's there and one bait's there. You don't want one going like all the way over there. I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm going to try the one that you showed me a minute ago again.
Yeah? What one? The first one?
Yeah, the first one.
Right, let's do it. 2 secs, I'll move the camera.
Because I feel like that's
Okay.
I feel like that's going to be a lot easier to pick up rather than trying to grab the thing.
Drop the tip.
Yeah.
Drop the tip.
Yeah, I got it. I know what you're talking about now.
Well, that didn't get it.
Nah, but I thought it's clicked.
What you done there was better than you done before.
Yeah, I think I think.
What you need to do is make so as the lead's coming back, you're dropping the tip, because as that lead reaches that tongue and you start to load it up, basically you got that and it just bends.
Yeah,
It's not a fantastic way of casting, but at the same time, it's getting your bait out there.
Yeah. Without endangering people on the beach. I think I'm definitely going to get that one quicker than the other one, the layback.
All right, let's do another one then. Go on then. Drop. Perfect, nearly. You snatched it a little bit then.
Yeah. We're getting better.
Yeah. When that goes in down like that,
you
just want to drop that tip, right? And as you drop the tip, bring that arm out and then hit it.
I feel like we might be getting somewhere.
What you feel is the rod load. Yeah?
Yeah, you can feel it. You can't explain it.
No.
You can just feel it.
It's just a way of bending the rod. But at the end of the day, guys, that's what we're down here to do. We're not down here to get him doing full like circuits of the cast and that straight away. At the end of the day, all I want to do is see him at 80 yards consistently a couple of times tonight would be lovely, right? Because when we go into the marks we're going to then, I know that he's over the rough, he's onto the clean, you know what I mean? We can put a lead lift on if we needed to, but more than anything, he's fishing. The most important thing for me to get out of this now is that when he's fishing, he's not cracking off all the time and stuff like that. If it gets to that case, it might be a case just putting the fixed ball back on, but I think he's getting really well with the multiplier. I like the way he's laying the line on. He's not laying the line on, no problems at all. The mag's been reduced 3 or 4 clicks now, so you can see him doing better with it. And the 5-ounce leads there as well. We might have to put a couple of different leads on in a minute, because we will need a bit bigger leads with the tide. No.
Can't do it. It's starting to frustrate me. So frustrating. Obviously I will get it, but
what we'll try for one cast, I think, is just keep the lead still instead of doing any moving, just to see how we get on with that. We'll get this lead straight, overhead thump, and then just fuel pressure. I mean, he's a big lad. I mean, he's got some strength in him, and I believe he can hit 80 yards today. I really do.
What should I do? Overhead thump?
Right, so what I want you to do is basically this. I'm going to cast your lead with it in a minute. Right, so what we're going to do is, I'll do a couple of evenings with him on this, because it is... Right, so what I want you to do is come up to that eye there like that.
Yeah.
Little bit of a drop, right? And then basically just drop down like that, right? Yeah. Out, in. I don't know where that went. Did you see it?
Yeah.
Where'd it go?
Up in the air and then this way.
How far?
A little bit further than what I got it.
Right. So the reel, the reel's all right then, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is that mag's totally on then?
2 clicks off, wherever you left it on last time. So you basically want me to give it a couple of swings and then just hit it as hard as I can up into the air.
That's what you've been doing, isn't it?
Yeah.
It just needs to be smooth. There's power in the rod.
Yeah.
That's the first time I've probably cast with it, innit? But I think you need to get this layback cast, mate, if I'm honest. Because if you can get the layback cast out like that, as it comes down and then hit, right? But when you're hitting, you're coming around like this, yeah?
Yeah.
All right, so what I'm gonna do for one cast straight away is I'm gonna put you in an off the ground position. What I want you to do, because at the moment you're constantly casting over the top. So if you come in to get yourself in position here, and come and stand here.
Yeah.
Right. what I want you to do is bring the rod, get you like that, out like that. I want you to bring the rod, get you 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, right? I want you to bring the rod from here, right?
Yeah.
And I want you to bring it around. And then as you get to here like this,
Yeah.
you get to here like this, right? I want you to pull that into your chest and then basically go whack,
Right.
and then punch out, all right?
Right, yeah.
Put your lead back out where you want it. This might go all over the place. There's no telling where this is going to go at the minute, all right? But I feel that it's going to get you casting in a better position because instead of going over the top. So come around and then out, up. Look up though. What I would do, don't even look at the lead now, turn around and look up.
Right.
Yeah, look up. Perfect. There you go. There you go. There you go.
Up the base!
I knew he could do it. You can see the power, and I can see that. You can see he's a fisherman. You can see that he's done it before, and you can see he's comfortable as he's coming around like that. You know what I mean? A lot of people don't do that. I can see people are still going like that over or whatever. He come around there naturally. Then that's what we need to get him doing. All right. If he can do that, then it's just at the end of the day, the pendulum cast is an aerial version of the off the ground, except from everything for this part of the cast is the same. It's setting it up is obviously the technique. But everything, once everything's set up, it's just execution. It's exactly the same as the off the ground, execution. You know what I mean? It's the execution of the cast, really. If he can cast like that for a couple of times, that's good, right? So that was off the ground. What we need to get him to do now is do that and get that distance in the air, because obviously we're going to fish off rocks and stuff. We just need him to do that.
I'm just going to go for it and see what happens.
What
do you want me to do it off the ground again?
The trouble is, where a lot of the venues we're going, not going to have a lot of room behind you. So
Yeah,
what
yeah.
you need to do is I prefer you to have a longer drop, because with the longer drop, you've got more chance of, like, what's it called? But I like to see you do the off the ground, if I'm honest. That'd be the cast. If I had to give you a cast to do and learn, it'd be off the ground, because the layback cast, because the layback cast, you can do it anywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, and the good thing about a layback cast is getting you, as I just said then, that bit around there like that, that's your execution. If you get that part of what you've done, because that went over the top then, you come around the side and you naturally went up. That was the best cast I've seen you do today.
Yeah.
If you can do that, but get that layback bit, right, you're setting yourself up for the execution of the pendulum cast, except from it's different on the setup.
Right.
But if you can go, so you want to get that lead going up there and then coming back, and as it gets to the top, nope. See, that's more of a pendulum.
Right.
With the layback cast, see, I like quite a little bit of a shorter drop, so it's out like that. Watch my rod go around. See that?
Right. So you want to hit it, yeah?
Out.
So when you drop the tip,
Out. Now I'm hitting it.
now, so as it's descending.
It's not dropping up there and going around like a pendulum.
No, so as it's coming
as
back
it's
on
coming
itself.
thing. So it's basically like a seesaw, isn't it? Like a swing. So it's out like that, up like that, up like that.
Drop the
I'm
tip.
dropping the tip slightly and I'm hitting it.
Right.
This is what we need him to get. I like to have Adam down here really as well, because it's learning off, like, with someone with that skill. Now that's when you got to hit it.
Right.
You had it then. I seen you set yourself up for it. Perfect. Except from, it's
I mean,
better
it went
distance.
further.
Yeah, a bit further.
Let go a bit early, didn't I?
I've lost my 200 gram lead. Nightmare. Foolish mistake leaving it on the shingle, but
Well, at least it's not
Hey-ho.
200 grams of gold.
hey-ho. I would have thought I'd have seen it though, because it was green. It's nightmare. I wanted to get him casting with a few sevens really, because casting a 7-ounce lead is a lot different if you've only been casting 5. Especially on that rod. It gives it up to 7 ounces on that rod, so hopefully it handles it all right. So when you're coming back like this, right? That's a shorter drop now, isn't it? So as you're coming back, don't hit the swing for a minute, right? see where my lead is,
Yeah.
right? My lead stays in that position. So basically it's hit. Okay. So I'm going out, hit, right? I'm giving you a shorter drop because it's slightly easier to do. With a longer drop, it's more timing involved, but
Yeah, yeah.
it's more, the longer the drop, the better.
Right. Longer the drop, the better.
I would just stick to what you're doing there at a minute. Your positioning is all right. You just got to move, have that lead going up. Don't whip your rod back. Drop the tip, and drop the tip then. So as that's going reaching up, drop your tip slightly,
Right.
and then come round. Don't chase the lead. Out, that's it. That out. Stop, now it! There you go. Right, that's fishing.
Fish on!
Fish on, brother, fish on. Have you ever tried like giving yourself a 2 foot drop and hitting it?
No.
No?
Maybe that'll be the key. After all that.
What I can the trouble, what I don't want, as I said, guys, I don't want to ruin his sessions, because at the end of the day, it's you want to enjoy it, don't you, when you go fishing? Last thing you want to be doing is that. So I don't really want to change loads, but at the same time, I don't mind doing a few trips with him on the cast, and I'll come around just playing. Don't have to film every trip, you know what I mean? But we are going to do 10 episodes for it. But I want to get him the feel of casting. I'm probably going to have a word with Adam and see if he'll earn himself an ice cream or something.
What, so just give it a little drop like that and
Yeah.
just hit it?
Yeah, right, over. So you give yourself a little drop. People do it, don't they? I just want to see if you can get something what's going to see you. Right, that's a cast for you then, isn't it? There you go. We can go home now. No, but no, that there, it didn't go
Yeah.
fantastic, but that was probably one of the best ones I've seen you done straight away all day, because you just turned in and just hit it.
I think that's just because what I do with the fixed ball. That's what I do. I just
Is
turn
it?
and hit it.
There you go. We'll do one more. I'm gonna take that mag off a little bit more this time.
All right. And it does help that I'm 110 kilos. The back foot to front foot.
Do 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 do.
Right then.
2 secs. I'm gonna do those leads up.
Aerodynamics and all that.
Aerodynamics. There we go then, guys. So we have Connor. There you go. There you go.
Oh, it's still dropping.
Right, so I've got him at an 80 yards with little ease. To be fair, we changed a little bit of what he'd done before. We haven't gone into the lake. What I don't want to do, and I've noticed it, when I was trying to change his casting then, he's going right and left and stuff, right? And that could be happening for weeks and weeks and weeks, right? I don't want that to happen, because what I'd rather him doing is casting out into the right areas and catching the fish, rather than not going out to the right areas and not, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, and being into bird's nest and being into like, it just going like totally wrong places and that. At the end of the day, it's more important for him to enjoy the experience rather than that. That's a good enough cast for me, for the venues we're going to be fishing and stuff. He's hitting 80 yards. And yeah, as I said, most of the guys I've gone fishing and took under the wing and sort of like showed them the ropes, so to speak, on the rays and stuff like that. None of them have been fantastic distance hitters, and they've all seen fish. You know what I mean? Except from one lad I took, and bless his cotton socks, he must have done 10 trips and never seen a ray. There was rays caught and stuff, but I don't know if it was down to I don't know what it was really. But 9 times out of 10, the majority that I have taken, they've all had fish. So that's all you can ask for. But that's it, Connor. Right, we're gonna be a bit dangerous now.
Go on. Do I get to go on the big boy rod?
In a minute. Right, so you handled that fine,
Where are
mate,
you going to
didn't
go? 4 mags? Yeah.
There you go. So 1 minute, you've gone 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's got 8 turns. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's 8 turns off on the clicker. And we have only fins live on Oddicombe Beach just about to smash one to the horizon. If he gets a bird's nest, he's got to show it straight off. But I've got total faith in you. Every cast you've done like that a minute ago has all looked very smooth. Okay, you are casting off a tip, which isn't perfect, but does it matter? Right, it doesn't matter. We will spend a little bit of time. I would like to get a mate of mine to come down and go through the laid back cast with you, because I feel that the laid back cast would be enough for you to pick up and stuff. It's slightly easier than the pendulum cast, but and then we can go through the pendulum cast as well. But if I had to have someone teaching me, and as I said, guys, I've took time out to come down here. I'm not a teacher, but at the end of the day, I can give them hints and tips to get them a bit more distance. But I'd like, same as everything I do, it's about having the right guys for the job doing, and it might cost you an ice cream because Adam does like ice creams, but
I'll get him two if you can get me any further.
But he does work miracles. I mean, he knows exactly the physics and everything what he does and stuff. And I've got to be honest, my casting was like well enough before. Even on the tournament field, he put on 30 yards on my cast.
Wow.
Yeah, by like going through. And I reckon if I stayed at it, I've been up there doing like 270s, 280s. You know what I mean? But
Jesus.
I prefer my fishing.
Yeah. Now, to be fair, obviously, you know, I've taken quite a lot in today, and I'm going to I will be down my local field. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
In the evening.
What I would say is this here, what you're doing now, just use for your fishing. And then if we can get a couple of lessons in doing that, then you've got something to practice on. But for what you're doing, fishing wise, just concentrate on doing what we're doing here, because what you're doing here now will catch you fish. I promise you. 80 yards out into that sea where the fish are coming through, and that a lot of the venues are fish. You have spotted ray, you have bullace, you have congers, you have all of it. Even the small lines and stuff come in. You know what I mean, like that. It's not necessarily every venue. The Bristol Channel, especially. I know Mark's on the Bristol Channel, and you see people going up and they're hitting to the horizon and that, and you don't need it. You know what I mean? Because as it basically, especially the smuts, come off the reef and he drops down into like the gutter. Yeah. And 9 times out of 10, those smuts are coming up over the bottom of the reef and stuff, and you're casting over them. You know what I mean? And I've seen it many times. You know where I've done it? I don't know if you remember him, James David Cook. You ever watched the channel? Used to be a tote boy.
Got like a
yeah, he looks a bit like you. Yeah.
What do you mean? I ain't that old, bro.
Good looking lad. But I took him up at that.
Did he have a 20 or something like that?
No, he had a. No, he used to be. He lives up up near Liverpool, but he used to be our tope guy. He used to be getting all the big tope and that. But I took him down with the smooth hounds, and we went to a mark on the Bristol Channel, and I'm hammering him, and I needed to get a specimen out, and he had 2 that day, and he literally was casting into there, and I thought, you know what? What am I casting for? Next time I went up there, everybody's rushing for the end point. And I thought, you know what, I'm not even bothering. And I went halfway up, roughly where he is, and I thought, you know what, I'm just doing it. And I'm lobbing him like that. Hound. I had 7 that day. I mean, it just goes to show sometimes I was casting that far, I'm hitting the next reef. Yeah. So I'm hitting 120, 130 yards over the thing, and I was getting rays and stuff, but the smuts are right in front of me. I'm literally casting right over him. It goes to show, doesn't it?
It does indeed.
All right, there we go.
All or nothing, I suppose, isn't it?
Huh?
All or nothing, can it?
Well, it is all or nothing on this cast for you, because this could go bad. But if you do what you just done a minute ago, you'll get extra distance. Look up and do exactly what you've done, and you'll be fine. Yeah? You didn't thumb that, did you? No.
Does that mean we can have more mags on?
There, that guys. All right. So what I'm going to do here, you hold that a minute. Have a bit of fun before we go away. Let's have a look. That'll be right. Well, you reel that on. Yeah. What's that?
I don't know what that is.
You got a bit of stone in there?
I don't know. I broke it.
See that?
That doesn't sound fucking... Oh. Swearing. Maybe I broke it.
Yeah, I think.
Oh, maybe a bit of grit or something. Or maybe it was just a bit tight. Spool.
Fish on.
Fish on! There she goes.
You're bound to get the odd swear on it, where here and there, when you're trying to learn to cast, guys. I do apologise.
You wait till I catch a monster fish. Beep, 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 beep. All the way through the video. Right. Sorry about my concentration face, guys.
trying to look for that lead. I reckon I put it in my bag, you know, because I'd have seen it by now.
It's probably stressing you out, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it is, yeah. I put all 3 leads down and I can only find, I thought, oh my God, I moved the camera, didn't I? Never mind. Right, so this is the one, all right? I've got total faith in him, right? I don't want you snapping at it this time.
Right, just.
I want you, yeah, you bring your lead up into position. Well, there we go. Whoops.
He took you out then.
Right. That reel's going fast enough, isn't it? I've got him.
I've lost it.
Yeah?
He lost it.
It's gone. There you go. Say no more. At the end of the day, guys, I just found my lead.
Hey!
No, at the end of the day,
winning, babe.
the whole thing for it today, I'm going to go do a couple of casts for him. I don't, because I was going to spend a lot of time going through like your layback casts and stuff, but I can see, as I said before, he's gone right and left and stuff. And I just feel if we start doing that now and we go fishing, it's just going to, you know what I mean? He's going to go do some fishing the weekend. And what he's doing there is perfect. I mean, he's getting baits out of there and he'll be in there to catch some fish. So I think what we'll do is we'll let him do a few more casts of what he's doing. I mean, he's getting on with it quite well. I reckon that went about 80 or 90 yards at least. So the last one was about 80 yards and he was just this side of the tide line then. So I reckon he's about 90 yards maybe. So you can't ask for more really. At the end of the day, you're in with a chance of catching some fish. And hopefully he's happy with that. I mean, have you put a little bit more distance on than you normally would there?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah?
Like I said, you know, I didn't expect to turn up and then leave a professional.
No, at the end of the day, you want to see small developments.
Yeah,
And at the end of the day, as long as you've learnt something out of what we've just done, and you know what I mean, that's the main thing of it.
Yeah, 100%. And even those little tips, those other casts, you know, I'll be down my local field, and I'll be practicing them, so then I can show off when I come back.
Get on. Here we go. Go on then. We'll have another cast. It's basically an overhead thump and it's gone more than enough. he's got a smile on his face, guys. And to me, if he's smiling, it really says it all because that's what it's about. That's what it's about.
I feel like if I take the mags off,
let him have another cast. We have a little sit down and we're going to go through. What I want him to do now, he's had a cast out. I'm going to give him my rod to cast. So hopefully he don't bird's nest that. Okay then, so yeah, how do you find it's gone so far?
I mean, I've really enjoyed myself, to be fair. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gassed to be out of you, to be honest. You know what I mean? I've been watching this geezer for about 10 to 15 years, do you know what I mean? So it's been good to get out. It's been good to get to meet him. He's a proper man as well. He's right. He's a geezer. Yeah, I've enjoyed myself. I've got a bit further.
Yeah, I feel from where I can see a bit of flat water there as the light's coming through the cloud. I think you were hitting. I would say you were hitting about. How far were you hitting when you first got here?
Not very far.
I think you've doubled it.
Yeah, I've easily doubled it.
Easily. I would say that last one, the one you've done before that was about 80 yards. That last one, I would say you got rid of the stick. So I think you were in around 90 yards.
Yeah, which
is lovely for what you're just doing as well. But it shows me that the power and what you've got. I feel that you're quite comfortable coming around. You don't look stiff and rigid. You look like you know what you're like doing. You're comfortably coming around.
Yeah,
so I think if you can just get the beginning bit. But I think what I'm going to do is have one with Adam.
Yeah.
You have to, as I said, ice cream might be. If not, because
I'll
he's a
buy
busy
you
man.
old tub if you want. You know what I mean?
if he's a bit of a busy man, but he might be able to like get a night in maybe next week or whatever. Come down here and just like go through it with you. It's the teaching sort of side for it at the end of the day because he'll like at the end of the day I'm showing you how I do it rather than how he does it. You know what I mean? And he taught me, so it's better. It's like a teacher, isn't it? You know what I mean? But I, at the end of the day, it is what it is. I think if you can pick the layback cast up, I think you'll hit that consistently every single time. I don't think you have any overruns and stuff like that because you're loading the rod. But to be fair, with the cast you just done, you loading the rod every time anyway. You had no overrun. The line wasn't lifting as you were coming off, was it?
No.
You know that 8 clicks you're fine with now. Yeah?
8 clicks will send it.
Inside, yeah. The only difference being, and I'm going to get you to do it before we go in the next cast, I'm going to put a 7-ounce lead on that rod for you.
Yeah.
Have you cast a 7-ounce lead before?
Nah.
Right.
I've never really needed one.
Well,
know,
where we're going fishing, you'll need to cast 7-ounce leads.
Yeah.
Because of the tide, just to hold for the tide, right? So what I'm going to do is put what you cast a 6 earlier on. You've done 6. So if I can get a 7 on there for you,
Yeah.
this is going to be totally different.
Right.
And I mean totally different. If the
Yeah,
rod
yeah.
would feel totally different with that on. All right. So when you're coming around, just obviously, I would slow it down slightly, and then as it comes through, apply it at the end. Don't
Yeah,
try
yeah.
to whip it too much and stuff. But we'll get one more cast doing that, and then I want you to cast my rod. All right, I'll put the mag. To be honest, I'm not going to put the mags totally on for you. If you don't get worried about it. If you bird's nest it, you bird's
Yeah,
nest it.
yeah,
I'll put
yeah.
no line on it. But at the end of the day, what I want to get his opinion on, because I know that's going to be a bit too much of a rod for him. But I want to get his view on how he found it to cast to put across it to the viewers. Because as I said, guys, there's a lot of people that go out there and they go and buy these top end rods straight away, and it's pointless. It's holding you back. I'm one for it. When I first got a compressor super sport, I went and bought. I wanted a Century. I wanted a Ziplex, and I went and got this. I swapped all my fishing gear for one Ziplex rod. About eight pen rods, and I got it. And I was over the moon. It was like a broom bow.
Yeah,
I couldn't cast
get
it, you know what I
into
mean?
it,
But what I wanted to show is because it's important that people are getting knowledge back of your experience at the same time.
Yeah, definitely.
But he's done a lot on his own channel as well. So don't forget to go over to OnlyFins and check it out. Because
yeah, if you feel sorry for me, subscribe and that, you know what I mean?
yeah,
Boost me
get
up a
on
little
it,
bit.
get on it. But we'll put a 200 gram lead on his rod again now, and then we'll jump onto mine and see how he gets on. Okay then, so Connor's got a 200 gram lead on now, 7-ounce. It's going to feel a bit different on his
7
rod.
ounces, babe.
It's going to feel a bit different on his rod.
Yeah,
but,
it's a lot heavier on the tip. Only the tip. Right. Just send it, I suppose.
I'm happy with that, mate. You've done really well
Working,
today.
isn't
You've
it?
done really well today. And the good thing about that, you might lose a little bit of distance when you've got your bait on and that. The reel's running really smooth, yeah?
Yeah.
You happy with that? Yeah.
I think that it was just that was a bit tight, wasn't it? That's
Yeah,
what
I
was
think
making
you're
it
right.
nice.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, we're going to get him doing another one with that. He's hitting a 200 gram lead there. Darkness is not good because it's starting to come in a little bit grey. But hopefully we can get another couple cast in and it'll be all right. But yeah, as I said, guys, I'm really happy with his progress so far. He's doubled his distance straight away just by keeping the lead still and stuff. And hopefully we can work on that over the next up and coming weeks. But hopefully that'll get him into a few fish. Okay, guys, I don't know what way the best way for the light is here a minute. I think it's here, isn't it?
All angles, isn't it?
Right, let's have a look. 2 secs. Okay, so before you go,
Yeah.
you got 8 clicks. What way's in less?
That way.
Right, we've just done 10 clicks. Right, what I need you to do now is make sure you look up.
Right.
That's half reel off nearly.
Right.
Right, so you can't whip that reel. You can't whip. You need to make sure it's through action, because if you try to it will just go.
Right. Bird's nest.
Right, hopefully not a bird's nest. Hopefully the one. Right, let's go. You're getting away with that. Right, so I'll have a cast 200 gram lead on this in a minute.
I mean, it's definitely fishable.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that, what you're doing distance-wise.
I think what I'm going to do is, I was going to buy another one.
Yeah, I would.
So then
Me too.
I've forced myself to literally, I have to get the cast, don't I? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because there's no going back, because I think chopping and changing
Right,
between fixed four
do me a
and
favour a minute. Wet cat, red one on there, will you?
what, on your
I'm
rod?
going to have a cast with his rod a minute. He's got half mags on that at a minute, but what I want to do is find out how far it can go off of what that setting is really. because if he's maxing out that distance on that setting, then we know we've got to, we can undo it a little bit, all right?
I won't put it on the floor because we don't want to lose it again, do we?
No, right. Right, gonna do that.
Undo it.
That there, that you can get more out of that.
Yeah, yeah.
That's half setting on that there now. What I'll do it for the camera here today, guys, all right? I nearly spooled that. I'm gonna see if I can spool this line on it, just to show, because people, if that was fully loaded, I'd never spool that. But because of that being where it is there, you spool it. And it's a question I get asked on the internet saying, I've seen such and such cast that. It's because they've got not enough line on the spool. Really, because you're learning to use a multiplier,
Yeah.
I wouldn't put no more line on that.
Yeah.
But when you start to learn to use a multiplier and you get your casting up, you look at my reel, it's full to the brim. You look at Adam's reel, it'll be full to the brim. You want to make sure it's full to the brim. The only thing we're casting that for, you've got to reel it back on every time.
Hey, at least we ain't got a fish on there, boy. Mermaid or something. There he is.
Right. Do one more then. Right, that's three quarters off. Let's have a look at it. Right, here we go. For bird's nest that you get to bird's nest mine. Pretty much
Full send.
that rod, lovely,
Yeah.
perfect for you.
Good for landing.
What I think here is exactly what you just said then. It's not stiff, and really I could let that mag all the way off. What I'll do, I'll let you have a reel in.
You go and have a coffee.
Yeah, I'll go have a coffee now. But he it is a pain in the ass when you're reeling in all the time, but he'll reel it in though, he likes it.
You can feel the
Lovely
tide.
reel, really good rod, very well balanced for what needed at the beginning. As I said, I'm going to get him to use the 435 now and see how he gets on with that, but the darkness is starting to fade upon us, which is not good. I mean, it's 25 to 6 and it give it forecast of clear skies today, and believe it or not. Unfortunately, it's not playing out that way. But no, it's for anybody what's first starting out, that's the first Sonic rod I've ever cast. And as you've seen then, I didn't hold back with that cast and I handled it fine. So it does go to show, sometimes you don't need those top end rods when you're first starting out. And a lot of the guys, which I see, and I know what anglers like it now, they're using like the big Sentries and the big Ziplex rods and the big Silkron rods and stuff like that. And they're too much rod for them, and you can see it when they cast. And really, it's exactly the same as like for anybody who understands golf and stuff. It's like me first starting golf and going out and buying blades. I can't hit them, you know what I mean? They're not forgiving enough. And exactly the same as now is with fishing rods, where you need to look at what you're buying and what you're using it for. And as you said now, if as you'll see in a minute, Connor will have a go with my 435 Extreme Tournament in a minute, which is a bit beefy rod, and you'll see with his pure power, he won't get the rod bending. It's the technique of the cast bending. It feels totally different than that Sonic. That Sonic's basically, it's because it's like really user friendly. It's like a catapult. Where that there, it's down to it's a very user friendly stiff rod. I would say the 435, but the tip with it you need to bend it. You know what I mean? It's the big boy tournament rod, where the glass tip rod is different again. But the glass tip, I don't think you get away with very much with that sort of style casting with a glass tip rod, because it's more so you need to slow the cast down and stuff. But here we go, we're going to get the big boy out now. Okay guys, so going to let Connor have a go with the Zotcron XT435 Extreme Tournament. So this is what I would class as more of a top of the range rod really now. As I said on your video a minute ago, it really is the artwork of modern day technology of rods. It's got a very casting background feel to it, a bit similar to the old like Ziplex rods and stuff. For me personally, as I said in your video, the Century and Ziplex, you can always feel the difference with the casting background of the rods. Having said that, obviously towards more of the last 10 years, Centuries have progressed on and on and on with more modern day technology with lighter rods and gearbox systems and stuff like that. But for me personally, this is a fantastic rod, which is a lot with the Zotcron range, very user friendly.
Yeah.
So you will be able to bend this rod, I believe. But so. it's very stiff rod, and you get out of it what you put into it. And exactly the same. The better that you cast. I mean, guys were hitting this rod 300 yards on the field. Like, wow. So it's a big boy's rod, like. But at the end of the day, what we're going to try and do now, put 200 gram lead on it, and what I'd like to see you hit it, because if you're getting on with this rod, you might. I would recommend you probably borrow these for a couple of the trips.
I mean, I'd be honoured.
Yeah, no, it's not. The only thing I'm thinking is some of the rock marks we're fishing, especially the rock marks and stuff like that. You've got fish below your feet, and we could be at heights and stuff like that where I wouldn't trust the tips on them.
Yeah.
If you get I don't know if you've ever had, but if you get like big rays and big swells, 1 minute the ray's there and the next minute's the ray's down.
Yeah.
And you want a rod what you can literally pull up, and you've got enough power just to hold the fish there. You know what I mean? So he's going up and down like that rather than all over the place.
Yeah.
Control's the main key. But let's see if he gets control of my mags then, shall we?
I'll give it a good send. I'll give it a good go, boy.
Fins, check it out. Watch yourself when you stand there a minute. Try and get behind the back there, just in case it cracks off. Hopefully not, guys, but...
You hit your camera.
Did I?
Yeah, straight off.
No way.
Yeah. I can't do that.
Is it broke?
I don't think it broke.
Is it wet?
It's soaked.
Oh no.
Right, I couldn't get that dry.
Well guys, what can I say? Absolutely unreal.
I mean, it's been emotional.
Last cast of the day, I thought, gotta wind one up for the camera for him. And as I come round, the GoPro was too near, and it's literally smashed it to pieces. So I think it's a stop at Curry's on the way home, unfortunately. But I hope you learned a lot today, mate.
I mean, I've learned a lot. Where not to put the camera up.
I'll tell you what, the wireless mics ended up in the sea, and it goes to show that you shouldn't cast with someone outside of you, because that other person, they have no face off, and it is something to obviously learn about when you are power casting like that. Yeah, unfortunately, the lead was, I wanted it to be close, but what can I say?
Right on the button.
Yeah, but we're trying to get one out just out behind the buoy there. It's probably about 120, 130 yards. But unfortunately, that's it for the day, guys. Got to have to get off the Curries. But yeah, lovely to meet you. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow night. I don't think we're filming at the minute, but yeah, it's should be a bit of fun for you all to watch. Hopefully, we can download the footage, because the camera's got wet and it's.
I think the screen's cracked.
Yeah, I don't know if that's cracked or not. I mean, it hit underneath.
It doesn't look great,
it hit underneath. So it don't look weak, but it doesn't look cracked to me. It just looks like
water damage.
Yeah, water damage. See if we can dry it out. If not, new GoPro needed. But it goes to show, guys, don't leave them too close. But from all of us at Sea Angle Adventures here today,
and Only
Fins, check it out, and we look forward to seeing you in another adventure. Tight lines.
In a bit.